Okay, so today, here we are on November 2nd, and we're going to continue on in Chapter 10. First reminder is that the tutorials from Chapter 10, the two drawings are going to be due at the end of the day today. So yesterday's lecture and last week, Thursday's lecture, detailed the process and the demos for each one of those. So if you need to look back, those would be your resources, or let me know if you have any questions. So today what we're going to do is we're going to look at the first assembly that we find at the end of the chapter that's assigned as homework. And I wanted to go over this one in particular because this will give you the process and what's going to be required for each one of the other assembly drawings. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a peek first. Before I run over to Creo, I'm going to take a peek underneath my camera. And the assembly drawing that we're going to look at is going to be creating the two-view assembly for the adjustable shaft support. And the adjustable shaft support is an assembly that we did back in Chapter 9, just the very last chapter that we worked on. And what we're going to do is we're going to create that two-view assembly drawing with bill of material. And I'm actually going to add a section view through there. So I'm going to show you how to do that because this chapter does not detail that. Okay, so first things first, let's go over to Creo. So I'm opening up. I already set my working directory, so you have to be sure that you set your directory first because that's going to be where we're going to pull all of our stuff from. Even though we're starting by pulling an assembly in, we still need to be in that same directory before we start things. So make sure that you select your working directory and that you set it to where all of your drawings, your templates, your format sheets are all set. So I'm already there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start new because I'm going to be creating a drawing. Oh, did somebody step in with us? Oh, Khushbu.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I'm just getting started because you're my first customer. So basically, I just need you to turn yourself to mute until you have a question. If that's okay? I'm just hearing some background stuff. All right. So as we start new here, even though we're going to be using an existing drawing, we don't want to open. We actually want to start a new drawing, and then we'll select when we need to, what assembly we're going to use. So I'm going to go to drawing here, and I'm going to give it the file name. Now the file name is going to be what it's going to put in the bill of material for the actual like drawing name, if you would. So I'm going to call it the adjustable, and make sure that it's all caps. And then shaft, and then I'm going to call it support underscore, and I'm going to put ASSY. I don't think I've used that name yet as I was practicing. Okay, so now we want to go underneath. We want to browse to the default model. So we need to pull up that assembly model that we're going to be creating the assembly drawing for. So I'm going to go here with the adjustable shaft support assembly. So it's the .asm file. Open. And then down here for template, I want to grab my LTC border that I have set up that I created during the second tutorial in Chapter 10 here. So browse, and I'm going to create, it's going to be my LTC A assembly, to view, and then I have it identified as 1. Okay, so those are the two things. I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to pull it right in for me. Now, it doesn't look great, but some of the things that have happened is it's populated my bill of material up here, okay? It has my balloons where things should go, but now I've got to kind of clean things up. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the top ribbon here, and I am going to unselect all of the axes display, the plane displays, the UCSs that are there, and now right away it looks much, much better, okay? So now, as we look here, you're going to notice that there's going to be the dimmed lines or the light gray lines here. These are actually going to print as hidden lines, just so that you know. If you want to get a view of what things look like, what you can do is you can go over to File, and then you can go to Print, and you can hit Print here, and you can just do a quick preview, okay? A quick preview. And when we preview, you can see all of those light gray lines that look solid do go to hidden. So it's fine. It just doesn't look quite right when we're in our actual drawing itself. But they are okay. So Be confident in that. Now, as you know, when we are dimensioning and we're putting balloons in place, we cannot balloon to hidden features, okay? So we're gonna have to create a section through here. And in this chapter, they really didn't talk about or identify how to make a section for an assembly, but it's not any different than making a section for a part. So if, just for your reference, if you wanna go back to, starting on page 261 in our book, we actually can walk through that very same process of creating a section, and I'll identify that here. But if you want to go back to page 261, there are the step-by-step procedure to create a section, and it's going to be the same process as we had, except we're going to have to be strategic about which plane that we pick. So I'll show you that here. So for right now, I'm going to leave everything as it is. We are going to move some balloons around when we get to the final place, but first I want to create my section. So I'm gonna be in layout here. I'm gonna select my right view, and I am going to double click on that. I'm sorry, not my right view, my front view, not my right side view. So I double clicked on that, and it's coming up here, and I have a selection on the left-hand side here for sections, okay? So I want to create a section, and what I'm gonna do is I am going to create a new section, and it needs to be a 2D cross section. So you want to click that button, and I'm going to hit the plus button, and I want to say create new. Okay. Now down here, this little menu came up. Okay, and it's just saying I want to use a plane that's already in my assembly, and then it's going to be a single plane. So I'm just going to hit done here. I don't need to select anything at this time. I'm just going to hit done. Now it's going to ask me what is going to be the name of my cross section. So in my box here, I think there was like an A, maybe there was an A, I'll see. I'm gonna call it A, okay. And then what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna select the plane that I actually want to do the cutting. So if I wanna have a section view, and if I wanna have my front view section, I'm gonna put my cutting plane in the right side view, okay? So I'm going to go over here, and I'm actually going to use the base support, and I am going to pull the front plane, okay? So I select my front plane. You'll notice in the right view over here, I see it as green, okay? And it's going through the part here, and it's going to be a full section that I'm going to create. So I'm going to hit apply. And notice that it automatically, if I zoom in here, it automatically did all my sectioning for me in the front view. And then it put my section V down here. Now, it didn't add my arrows in the right-hand side view. So what I need to do is add those now to make that, kind of complete. So I'm gonna hit OK here. I'm gonna go back to layout, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add arrows. Now I'm gonna select the right side view here, and then I'm going to go up to arrows. All right, let's do an undo there. That's not what I wanted. Silly. So I'm gonna delete that, and click on my view, and then hit arrows. Of course. Am I not? Arrows. Oh, Creo. You are sometimes not my friend. So let me just do go into a different here, go back here, and do arrows. I'm going to click, like, there we go, in that right side view. So that's going to show my arrows in the appropriate view, and they have it labeled as BB, which corresponds to the section title that I gave it. Okay. Now, we got to move things around. Things aren't exactly where we want them to be. So this is kind of where the fun starts. Now, before I get started, I do want my assembly to be a little bit larger on the page. So I'm going to hit the scale down here on the lower left corner of my screen. I'm going to double click on that, and I'm going to put it to 0.5. Just make it a little bit bigger, which I think looks better. Now, you'll notice here that it's a little high and a little bit close to our bill of material. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to select this view, and I'm going to need to actually unlock the view, and I'm going to select it again, and now I get my arrows where I can move things around. So I'm just going to scooch it down a little bit here, okay, which is a better placement. And then now I'm going to start moving around my balloons and making sure that I have things where they need to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I need to get my B section here. I'm going to get that down and away. So all I'm doing is I'm clicking on it, left clicking on it, and then it's selecting it. And then what I can do is once I get these like the 4 arrows going in different directions, I can just drag where I want it to go. Okay, and this is where we start making things look good. So now I'm going to go to my balloons. I'm going to shift my number 1 balloon over here. I'm going to leave it attached where it's at. My number 5 balloon, I'm going to scooch kind of over here because I need to bring my section note here down a little bit. Oopsie. Select it quite like that. There we go. Section BB down here. Then a couple other things we want to do. We want to move our number 2 here, number 4. I'm going to put there. Number 3, I'm actually going to move more down here. So again, we just kind of play with it to make everything look good. Now, in the book, they give you a guide where maybe you want to do the numbering so that it starts with 1 and goes around either clockwise or counterclockwise in order. That's nice if you can make that work. Sometimes it does work out based on the bill of material, and sometimes it doesn't. The best thing, just to make sure first and foremost that you're pointing to things in a way that makes sense and that you can, you know, see what part or differentiate the part that you're looking for. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I don't want my arrowhead, for instance, for number 3 to be on that edge over there. That's actually the hub on the outside here. So I'm gonna click this, and when it's green, I'm going to hit the right mouse button. And I'm going to click, or I'm going to choose Edit Attachment. Once I do that, now when you do Edit Attachment, just make sure that you get this second window over here. And I just want to change the reference. And all I need to do is I need to just click where I want it to be. So now you'll notice number 3 is now at the top here, and that depicts better the hub that I want. So I'm just going to hit Done in return for that one. You do need to do these all separately. So I'm going to select number 2 here, and then I'm going to right click, Edit Attachment, and here again, I'm going to move this attachment so that, oopsie, I'm going to put it like over here. There we go. So it looks like it's on the bushing and not on the outside. When I've got it where I want it, I just hit Done, and then I can always scooch this closer if I want to. So again, now it's like I said, just kind of making it all look good. Number 4 here is my set screw. So I'm going to select number 4. Get it green. I'm going to, oops, it's the small edit attachment. We got to get the large menu. I don't know why it's different, but it is. There. Oh, like I said, Creo, sometimes you are my friend and sometimes you are not. Funny, there we go. See how it's a wider menu? Then I'll get my second one over here and it'll stick where I want it to. So I don't want to push it there. I want to actually kind of put it on the side here. There we go. Done. And then number 6 is the yoke. So I actually need to get to the yoke. It's pointing at the yoke, but it's not in a great place. So I'm going to do that same thing here. Edit attachment, and I'm going to put it actually on the side right there. And then done. And then lastly, I'm going to move my number 5. I'm going to move that one up here. I'm going to edit its attachment. Attachment, and we're going to put it on the side of it. There. Okay. Done. Okay. So right now, balloon-wise, I feel good. Looks good. I'm going to move my 2 maybe a little bit over. Okay. So you can play with that. So I've got my section line in, I've got my items sectioned, I've got everything ballooned. I think it looks good. I like the size of it. It's filling up my page. It's nice and centered. And so the last thing I really need to add is some center lines. Okay. So to add center lines, I'm going to go to, I'm going to select my view here. And then I'm going to hit, now you can do it one of 2 ways. You can go to the annotate and you can say show annotate on our ribbon. Or if you're down here and you have the view selected, this second one, second menu in here is this very same thing. So you can do it right by your cursor. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click some of the things over here. Now I'm going to go to the very last tab here, and this is where I can start showing my center line. So I want to show that one. That one looks good. I'm going to click on that one. That one looks good. Click on this one, and probably my set screw, and I That looks good. My shaft going down. There we go. Make sure that you hit show so that they stick, because if you go to the next one, it's going to get rid of that previous one. So I'm going to hit apply. That looks good. I'm happy with my front view as is. Then I'm going to go over to my right side view and I'm going to do the very same thing. And I'm going to show the model annotations. And I'm going to click on that one. Make sure I hit show over here so it sticks. Now my cutting plane line is going all the way through here, so really I'm not going to add it for my my vertical threaded rod there, but I am going to add it for my set screw there. I'm going to hit show and apply, and I think I feel good about how it looks. And this is where that's exactly what you do. You kind of step back and you look. Does it all make sense? Do all of my items? Are they showing? Can I make sense of them? Are the balloons there? Am I ballooning to an actual, visible feature? And that's why we sectioned all the way through. Okay, so once we are happy with this, then we are ready to do a quick save. File, save. Now you just have to hit save because it's going to save right back to your working directory. It's going to remember the file name that you created. So you're going to hit OK here. And then once you're done, remember what you're going to do is you're going to do a screenshot. Now, you don't have to have everything expanded like we do sometimes in this case, okay? Really, the drawing here is the focus. And as long as you have all of your items in here and everything looks like it's good to go, then what I'd like you to do, instead of using this view as the screenshot, I'd like you to go to File and Print, and then we're going to go to Print. The reason I like this one is because this is where we're going to actually see our hidden lines. So you'll notice here that once I want full plot to be selected in the middle here for the model, I'm going to hit preview, and I just have to zoom in and out, and then you'll notice that it selects all the way around the outside of the paper here. This is the view that I want you to take a screenshot of. So again, we use the Windows Shift S, and then I'm going to select just around the outside of my drawing, and I'm going to release when I get that. And then this is going to be what I'm going to import into a document to create my PDF. So you can actually in one PDF do each and every one of these assemblies, okay? So once you have that all created, then, like I said, you can go to, for instance, Microsoft Word is what I usually use, as you know. You can also use Google Docs to do this as well. Any place that once you import it, that you can export that document as a PDF so that you can put it into the assignment Dropbox. So I'm just going to say that this is chapter. Technically you don't have to make this formal because when I pull it into pull it in from Blackboard, I know who you are and what the assignment is, but it's not bad to make it kind of official. And this is the adjustable shaft support assembly. And our problem number here is 10.2 because this is the 2-view assembly drawing that we're doing. I'm just going to hit enter, and then all I need to do is do a right click, and I can do a paste, and there is my drawing. Okay. Then what you're gonna have to do is after that you're going to add the next assemblies and the next assembly. So probably one per page is what you're going to be doing here. So this is going to be a multiple-page PDF document. So make sure that you save before you create the PDF. But if you're ready to create the PDF, once you save it, you can export it then as a PDF, and you want to give it a name here. So I've got chapter 10. I'm just going to put it on my desktop. I'm going to publish it there. It creates the PDF for me. And then this is going to be the document that I'm going to upload to the Dropbox in Blackboard. So again, I have to have all of them populated with all the assemblies in the assignment. So I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to say, okay, let me go to Learning Plan, Chapter 10, down to the Chapter 10 homework folder, and down here is your Dropbox for these problems. This is where you're going to put this. So tutorials were from the last couple lectures. This is going to start your problems. So the first one that we worked on here was the adjustable shaft support 2-view assembly. We'll continue to do demos in the days to come. But once you have them all done in one document PDF, then what you're going to do is you're going to browse local files. Again, I'm pulling the one that I just have the one on. You're going to have multiples on here. Go to my desktop. Here's my chapter 10. Open, submit. Not going to let me submit because I'm the teacher. It's like, that's kind of silly that you're submitting to yourself. But then all that you're going to do is you're going to submit. Yours is going to say, okay, you successfully submitted. And then I'm going to see it as the submission for your assignment. The assembly drawings here, or all of the problems that I have assigned for the assemblies that you've already created. So it's making a 2-view assembly drawing and a 3D assembly drawing for each one of the assemblies. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 assemblies. There's 4 different assemblies, so there's going to be 8 drawings that you're going to do. Okay, and once you kind of get in the groove, honestly, it's kind of fun, and it won't take real long. So we're doing some extra problems here for the practice of creating the drawings. Okay, so let me just quickly peek back at Rio. And Kush, you're on right now. I'm going to ask you, do you have any questions at this time?
I cannot make the, I cannot set up the section view. I was trying to follow, but I couldn't.
Oh, I know. This demo here is to kind of give you the overview. I did go kind of fast. My intention wasn't for somebody to do it along with me, but are you in the lab next door by chance?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, you are? Okay, perfect. Then if you don't mind, what I'll probably do is I'm going to then jump over and what I want to just remind you of, and this is for everybody if you're watching this, go back to page 261, and the process for doing this is exactly the same as we did for a part. The only special thing that we want to make sure that we do is that we have to select the correct plane for us to go through so that it's going to section in the right place. So you'll notice that I have to make sure that I have a plane that's going all the way down in the right side view, that it's going to cut through the full part. And that's kind of the trick, finding which one that is. So I actually picked the one I went, but you may have to go back to your model and kind of look which one is there, so that when you then pick it in the assembly drawing here, you go into the model tree in the right place and select it, okay? So I'll be over to help you with that, but that's really the key there, is to make sure that you're selecting the right one. There's multiples that you could actually pick. So just making sure that it's going to be going down the middle of that right side view so that it creates the section view over here in the front, okay? And then using the procedure starting on page 61 to actually go through that process, okay?
Okay, sounds good. See you in a bit.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right, so yeah, that was really a really good question. So be sure that if you do, run up against that section view stuff, like I said, it's not specifically in chapter 10. We do have to kind of go back to some stuff that we learned before, and make sure that you select one of the planes that are going all the way through the part as you see it here in the right side view. So the one that I did was actually on the base support, and I think it was in the front view, okay? So take a peek there, but it can be any one of them that run through the middle. All right, so that's all that I have for today. Tomorrow we'll be back and we will do another demo on the next assembly so that you have good information on that. But in the meantime, if you have any questions or you need some help, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay. Have a good day.